Books have been the single biggest factor in some of the most important decisions that I've made this year. From finding the courage to quit the job that I hated, to starting this YouTube channel, and generally just trying to live a more fulfilling life. So in this video, we are going to go over the 5 best books that I've read so far in 2023 across a whole range of genres that you should definitely check out because they might just change your life. Excellent Advice for Living by Kevin Kelly. Kevin Kelly is the founder of Wired magazine, and he actually started writing advice that he had learned throughout his life that he wished he knew earlier so that he could share his wisdom with his children. However, once he started writing, he realized he had a lot more to say than he thought, and so he decided to turn this into a book. The book is a nice short read, and it has a place close to my heart because it assures me that size isn't everything. I can already tell that this book is going to be one that I'm going to read time and time again throughout my life because every single time you're going to come back to this book, you're going to be a completely new person and it's going to be a completely new experience. Because this book is really just a collection of thoughts, what's going to happen is that as you get older, as you gain more life experience, as you get a fresh perspective on everything around you, there's going to be passages that didn't mean much to you that first read that on that second or third read are going to feel like they were written specifically for you. My copy is absolutely littered with highlights, and I wanted to share with you a few of my favorite passages. Don't be the best, be the only. A great way to understand yourself is to seriously reflect on everything you find irritating in others. Friends are better than money. Almost anything money can do, friends can do better. In so many ways, a friend with a boat is better than owning a boat. Generally, say less than necessary. This book is an absolute gift to the world. I promise you, if you read it, you will be a better person when you finish the book than you were when you first picked it up. And for that, I think we should thank Kevin. No, seriously, guys, thank him. Thanks, Kevin. There you go. The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. One of the main themes in this book is the idea that obstacles are inevitable in life. You'll get fired from your job. You'll have zero true direction in life. You'll move back into your parents' basement at 25. Your love life? Well, non-existent.
Wait a minute, are you talking about me right now?
I sure am.
Thanks, man.
The book argues that instead of sitting around and feeling sorry for ourselves, we should actually learn to embrace our obstacles, learn to reframe them, and then actually use them as a path forward for personal growth, resilience, and success. Ryan writes about failure in a way that really has resonated with me. He says, failure shows us the way by showing us what isn't the way. This is so true, and I actually want to dissect a failure from my life through this lens.
So back in October of 2022, I actually got fired from my job. Not a very pleasant feeling, wasn't enjoyable by any means, but when I reflect back on this situation, I actually am really grateful for getting fired from this job because it showed me that I wasn't where I was supposed to be in life. You see, I was completely miserable at that job. I hated it. It drained me of my energy. It played to my weaknesses instead of my strengths. The scariest thing for me looking back is realizing that if I didn't get fired from that job, I actually don't think I would have had the courage to quit it. And so when I actually ended up getting fired, it was a huge relief because it felt like the universe had made a really important and difficult decision for me that I wouldn't have been able to make on my own. And ultimately, I'm really grateful for this experience because one of the main reasons I started this YouTube channel right here is because I got fired from my job and had some free time for a little bit. So sometimes your biggest failures can result in some of the best experiences of your life.
The Martian by Andy Weir. This book follows the journey of astronaut Mark Watney after he wakes up on Mars, realizing his crew has completely abandoned him, leaving him alone on the planet. Now, I'm going to get this out of the way early, but I actually didn't read this book. I listened to the audiobook, and it actually made the experience better than it would have if I read it. Seriously though, listening to this book added so much to the experience and enjoyment of this book in a way that I think that reading it just couldn't have. It was narrated by Will Wheaton, who is slowly becoming my favorite audiobook narrator, and it is absolutely hilarious. There were countless moments throughout the book where I was audibly laughing.
And listen, I know that this isn't a self-development book. I didn't have a actionable insight that I pulled or some life lesson that I learned. I really just read this book for, well, enjoyment. And look, if you're the kind of person that is watching my channel, odds are that you're probably someone who reads books with the intent of trying to get something out of that book and apply it into their own life to improve themselves. And that's fantastic. Never stop doing that. However, I do think that reading for enjoyment is a bit of a lost art within the self-development community, and I think that that is such a shame. But I think that we need to remember that reading can simply just be a source of enjoyment. You see, I listened to this book while I was training for my marathon. It was winter, I had to do treadmill runs, and the runs were like 10 plus miles. And genuinely, how funny this book was and how entertaining this book was the only reason I ever actually got through those training sessions. Oh my God, my cardio sucks. Fuck.
Shoe Dog by Phil Knight. This is a memoir by the creator of a little shoe company you may or may not have heard about called Nike. Shoe Dog takes you through the journey of Nike's humble beginnings in the 1960s all the way to the behemoth that it is today. Phil is a fantastic storyteller, probably one of the best that I've ever read. My book is littered with highlights of passages that left me in awe as a reader and in complete and total envy as a writer. The main thing that I loved about this book is a topic that I've spoke about on my channel many times before, and it's the idea of falling in love with the journey. While Phil was building Nike, he endured year after year of financial struggles. He went through several legal battles. He faced fierce competition. There were endless doubts from investors, friends, family, even himself. Pretty much anything that could have gone wrong as an entrepreneur did go wrong. But what's funny is that at the end of the book, Phil says that he wishes he could relive it all again. You're probably thinking, is this guy nuts? No, he just picked the right thing to focus on. He says, I tell men and women in their mid-20s not to settle for a job or a profession or even a career. Seek a calling. Even if you don't know what that means, seek it. If you're following your calling, the fatigue will be easier to bear, the disappointments will be fuel, the highs will be like nothing you've ever felt. As a mid-20-something who is desperately trying to find his calling and is extremely worried that he's gonna fail along the way, hearing these words from Phil gave me a great sense of reassurance. The truth is that anything that is worthwhile in life is going to be a struggle. And so the important thing is to actually pick something that you don't mind struggling through. Essentialism by Greg McKeown. If you haven't noticed, modern life is overly complicated. It's full of noise, distractions, and the relentless pursuit of more. Essentialism is a concept that cuts right through that, and it actually allows you to focus on what's truly important by doing less. You see, our world is plagued with the idea that doing more is better. It seems like everyone has an endless list of demands, obligations, commitments that drain us of our energy and dilute us of our potential.
Oh, come on!
The issue is that busy has become a status symbol. People have associated being busy with being successful, and so a lot of people actually strive to be busy.
I'm busy!
I'm busy, stupid dick!
But the issue is that a lot of people would actually rather feel busy than get anything important done. And the people who claim they are busy fail to stop and ask themselves one simple question, which is, what am I actually busy with? But when you actually dig into that question, you're gonna realize that a lot of the stuff that you're busy with has actually been assigned to you and accepted by you as important. As Greg McKeown says in the book, if you don't prioritize your life, someone else will. And so instead of being busy, dividing your attention between a bunch of things that you don't really care about and ultimately making no progress in any of them, essentialists figure out what is really important to them and they focus all of their attention there. You see, there's this common struggle I hear all the time about people who have all of these books that they want to read, but they feel like they aren't reading as much as they want to. If you feel like you get stuck on books, you feel like you're picking the wrong books to read, or overall you're just lacking motivation, well, you should definitely check out this video right here. I've actually outlined 4 tips that have helped me read over 100 books in a year, and I think I can help you do the same so that you can finally get through that very long list of books that you want to read.